I'm doing my best, guys, throwing everything I got in the box. Check out the report. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is the report for March 9th. I'm going to do it quick because it looks like we could be getting a rain flurry coming through here. And as you could probably imagine, the fishing has been, again, very tough this last week. Quite a few, I mean, the pressure is light, but there was quite a few people out, especially last weekend when, the storms didn't really materialize. There was a couple days where everybody could get out, and there have been people fishing between the storms. I've been out quite a bit. I'm just not catching any fish, and I fished in front of the storms, the leading edge, behind the storms. I hadn't fished through the storms, but I'm looking for that 15 minutes of glory that we all know can happen fishing these leading edges of the storm. They just haven't happened for me, but we'll get into that in a minute. There was, like I said, light pressure, but people pre-fishing for the Toyota tournament coming up, and just people out having, trying to get a fish. There's been enough where I've gotten quite a few reports. Before we get into that, I'd like to go over the survey that I took for last year, and if you guys remember, about 300 of you filled out didn't fill out a survey, but sent me information, and I asked the general consensus on an A to F grade for the Delta in 2022, and I also asked about favorite baits and baits that may not have panned out. No big revelations here, but I'll go over very quickly what I found out. Out of approximately 300 people that did the survey, I think only 2 or 3 gave it an A, and only 2 or 3 gave it an F. By overwhelming majority, everyone gave it a C. There were more people that gave it a B than a D. I gave it a D, and I'll tell you why I gave it a D in just a minute. But generally, they thought it was an average year. The bait that everybody seemed to catch fish on, no surprise here, it was a worm. That was the favorite bait out here, just basically a Cinco worm. The technique that a lot of people did well with last year was punching. It was a good year for punching. The overwhelming majority of people that sent in a bait that said they were disappointed in last year was the chatterbait. For some reason, people just didn't catch fish on chatterbaits. It's a great bait to use out here, but it wasn't a good year last year for the chatterbait. Also, a lot of the people that gave it, I'll say, a B, they also mentioned that, I come out after work about 3 days a week, and I had a really good year. Well, number one, those people may have been fishing that change of light bite in the evening, and they probably weren't fishing on the weekends, which leads me to my grade as a D. If I was going to give it an all-round grade, I probably would give it a C, but I fished a lot of early morning and evening, and I got into some really good bites that would have jumped my grade from a D to a C. I also had some good nights out here fishing, but the days that I spent between, I'll say, 8 and 4 o'clock, I'll say tournament hours, and on weekends, it was tough fishing, and I had to work for every fish, and that's why I gave it a D. But with that, think about that next year. If you want to have a good grade out here, no matter how well or how poorly the Delta fishes next year, really concentrate on that change of light bite either in the morning or in the evening. So with that, not a lot to learn there, but I thought I'd give that information out because so many of you took the time to fill out, didn't fill out, but they sent me the information that I asked for on that survey. Okay, what's going on out here? It is 48-degree water. Clarity is from 1 to 2 feet in most places. If you get in back of some of these sloughs, you're going to find 3 or 4 feet of visibility. What I have found in the central delta, and I'm talking about leaving from Paradise Point, I've been all the way up to Terminus. I have been out on the other side of the channel, and what you will find in some of these channels, what the heck was that? Thought I heard something. I might be going crazy. I've been out here too long. What you'll find in some of these channels is, especially coming off the McCollum up north, I think the McCollum must be running really chocolate, because you'll have a little offshoot that comes off of, I'll say, the main one of the main sloughs of White Slough, and that'll be maybe a foot or 2 feet of visibility, and you can get off into a little channel, a side channel, or a little dog leg or something, and you can have 3 or 4 feet of visibility. The reason I'm telling you guys that, if you come out here and you're able to move around, sometimes you don't have to move a long way to find a different water clarity and a different water color. And clarity means how far I can see into the water. Color means I can go from a chocolate color to more of a chocolate brown to more of a kind of a greenish brown. You guys know what I mean out here. You don't have to go far to find that. Also, what I'll say is I have fished leading edges of the storm. I have not fished through the storms. I fished the wind. I have fished after the storms. And again, looking for that 15 minutes of fame, and I'm just not finding it. I know if I spend enough time out here, I'm going to hit one of those days. I'll be in the right place, the right time, and I'll catch some fish. But it hasn't happened for me. A matter of fact, I've pulled a couple of skunks. So far today, I'm pulling a skunk, and I am going, as you can see, it looks pretty nice right now. We got getting a few sprinkles here and there. We're supposed to get some rain. As soon as I get done with the report today, I'm going to go out and see if I can't fish the leading edge of what's coming in from the San Francisco area and maybe catch a fish. All in all, literally, everyone that sent me a report, and thank you guys for sending the reports, because I know it's hard to send a report after you've been out fishing, you haven't caught a fish all day, you don't feel like bragging about it, but you're taking the time and effort to send in the report, so I appreciate that. I am interrupting my own program today to include some late breaking news. It's not late breaking news, but news that I failed to mention. This came from Keith over at Free Spooling, and it is important because of the bait that they were using and the time that they were fishing. Last weekend, Keith and 4 of his kayak buddies were out. They fished all day from morning till dark. Daylight, really nothing going on. Very slow. Out of the 4 kayakers, or 5 kayakers, I think they caught 4 or 5 fish. The important part of this report from Keith is that he and his buddy, one of his kayak friends, decided to stay out a little bit late. 5 o'clock, they had a high outgoing tide, and I'd say 20 minutes, a half an hour, it sounded like a very short period of time right there, maybe at the change of light. They boated 10 fish, all solid fish, 2.5 to say 3.5 pounds. They caught every fish on a lipless crankbait, and that was a fire craw color. So that might be something that gives some of you guys an edge if you're staying a little later. If you're not throwing a lipless, maybe you need to put a lipless crankbait on. I failed to mention that I had one on my deck. And last but not least, I want to thank Keith for a good report, even mentioning colors, baits, tides, and all of that good stuff. If you don't know Keith, he has a YouTube channel, Free Spooling, a lot of Delta content. So go out and check Keith out. If you know him, tell him thanks for sharing the information. Let's get back to the regular scheduled programming. Is it worth going out? Not if you're looking to catch a lot of fish. If you are going to be pre-fishing for a tournament, just grind it out here. I have been throwing everything from chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, crankbaits, jerk baits, the faster moving reaction baits, just nothing. Every now and then I'll get a bite on one of those. I've been throwing worms, jigs, Cincos, T-rigs. I've tried some punching, just nothing. It is hard to get bit out here. The guys that have been catching fish, I will say, I don't have it on my deck right now. They're getting fish on oddball colors, something that has, not oddball colors, but bright colors, either super orange, red type stuff, have a chartreuse in it, something that I guess is going to stand out in the darker water. I've been trying those. They haven't really been working for me, but everyone that says, yeah, I got a fish and I was using a jerk bait and it had a red belly and a chartreuse, head or something. So think about using some brighter colors. We're going to be getting rain for the next 7 or 8 days. Like I said, the water temperatures are 48 degrees. They may go up a degree or 2. The fish are not really, they may be thinking about pre-spawn, but they're not even staging up. I did talk to Alan Fong when he was having a decent day before the storms came in. He was getting them offshore in areas that they were staging to start to come up. So I would think that as this water starts warming up, you also might want to try some offshore. If you're fishing points, go out to the peninsula, the underwater peninsula on the point, find the deeper water where fish are staging, just waiting to come up on those points and start moving out to the Thule Islands and the shallower water. Maybe fish from deep to shallow. Today I have been fishing shallow up around flats and things, hoping that there would just be a fish or two up there trying to pitch into wood, rock, any kind of structure. Just not happening for me. So I'm going to start fishing offshore today at that first ledge, see if I can't catch something. Thank you guys for watching. I sure hope I have a better report next week for you. I know we're all dying to catch some fish. You guys that are dying to come out right now and you're working and you want to take a day off or something, it's still not time yet. Save your energy, and hopefully this next 7 or 8 days of storms we'll get the water we need. That'll be it. The Delta will flush out. We'll have a great spring. Everybody that I talk to is talking about, man, when spring finally comes up here, it's going to turn on and it's going to be really good fishing. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button. We'll see you next week, rain or shine, whether we're catching fish or not. And sooner or later, you'll see me with a bigger smile on my face. So good luck. See you guys on the river.